All right, greetings, dear Taurus. This is you. Over here, it's Tarot Lumination, and this is your December 2018 mini kind of generic love and relationship report. So, for new viewers, I'm going to give you a little bit of a drill here so you know what's going on. And for the regulars, please be patient. I feel it's important to give people an idea of what the actual reading is about and how it works instead of just diving right into the cards and just I don't think it's fair on the viewers. Anyway, over here at Tarot Lumination, we use the Tarot Lumination Crucible spread for love and relationship. It's specifically on the understanding that there's you, Taurus, a significant other, and a third entity called the relationship itself, which in a very conscious relationship, both parties are aware of that, and they conduct everything through the relationship, more or less like they're managing a business together. I know it sounds very unromantic, but it's a very effective and productive way to run a relationship, to own and care and nurture for a relationship, because it's its own thing. So what is it that you guys own? Well, we're going to find out. Also, watch for your sun, moon, and rising, especially if they're all different. Then reinterpret to suit yourself. Also, if you need to, cross-watch for a significant other. Also, for the reading, please invite your invisible friends, spirit guides, angels, and all of that, because that's what we do over here on this side of the screen, okay? Now, before we get into it, I want to go over a few other bits and pieces with you. I make astro doodles here for Tarot Lumination own purposes and for use in personal readings. And it's handy also to do the reports. I'm going to show you some absolute basics here. First of all, let's get rid of that. Okay. First, some basic dates for the month. December the 6th, okay? New moon in Sagittarius, and Mercury is now direct again, okay? So there's a very strong emphasis on the Jupiter and Sagittarius energy here right now. Also, at the very beginning of the month, Venus is moving into Scorpio for the whole month. Okay, I didn't put that on here, but you'll see in a minute. December 21st, the Sun enters Capricorn, and it's the winter solstice. And December 22nd, we get the full moon in Cancer. So this is a big shift in energy towards the end of the month for you, Taurus. This is very favorable, comfortable energy. The Sagittarius energy might be a little weird for you because it's going through your 8th house of intimacy and joint finances. What happens at the depths and the internals of relationships once a relationship exists, and you are literally merging resources, your sense of resources with the other and the other's resources with you. Personally, one note I want to add here, I feel that big shifts in energy are happening this month. I like to think of it as a fog event at San Francisco airport, where the shifts are large enough and disturbing enough, not disturbing, but let's say disruptive enough that it could feel like a fog event. And you know, at San Francisco, it's the most fog-bound, delayed-bound airport in the world. One fog event can trigger a cascade of ripple effects to all the other flights with cancellations and delays, and it's very, very hard to plan and manage things under those conditions. So I wanted to add here that as Jupiter squares off with Mars in Pisces for basically the whole month, my feeling is that this is a very strong aspect. It's probably the most dominant thing for the whole month. From my feeling here, personally, it's about the expansion of spiritual awareness through the challenges to our most deeply buried secrets and wounds, wherever this lies in your chart. And I'll show you in a moment here. Let's have a look at this. So this is the Astro Doodle for Taurus for December. This is not a fixed thing. This is kind of a collage, okay? The thing we're talking about here is this big, big shift into the Sagittarius energy over here, okay? The new moon and Jupiter's already here, and Mercury's going direct. And all of this is in your 8th house of deep, deep intimacy, shared resources, like the deep soul merger, financial merger, that happens after a bond is formed here in the 7th house of marriage and open enemies, okay? So this is a very intense house, and we go very, very deep here, and it might be, let's say, a little bit unsettling because it might be too much all at once. So you have to allow for that, okay? Now, later in the month, December 21st, it goes in. Sun goes into Capricorn, so that'll smooth things out for you. It's very harmonious for you, and the full moon here. For Taurus, though, listen, this is a little awkward. I'm going to point a couple things out. With Venus is going through your 7th house of marriage, one-on-one relationship, open enemies, your contracted chosen relationships, significant one-on-one. So the Venus there is sweetening it up, but it's very, very intense, okay? So we have to be very careful, okay? At the same time, Uranus is squashed here, still in the like the 0-degree range, the cusp range. They're like 1 or 2 or 3 degrees on the cusp of Taurus and Aries. So this is extremely disruptive energy as it's changing through the signs. As it retrogrades right now, it takes it back into your 12th house of self-undoing. So you might get through December and on to January and February and even March, I believe, a sensation that you're getting action replays of all the things, but in much more vivid terms, much clearer terms of all the ways in which you have undone yourself or allowed yourself to be undone. And the beauty of that is that you can use that in terms of revealing for the healing, okay? So don't be too scared. And when it starts to change back to Taurus again, it could be very unsettling. So please, for this month, allow for unsettlements inside of yourself. You might feel very like shaky and destabilized, and like like the tectonic plates are shifting under your feet, and it's very hard to maintain stability, which is very unsettling for Taurians. So please allow for these things. Oh, this is the hard square aspect I was talking about. I don't know how this is going to play out for you personally. Let's get on with it. Last minute, sorry, a couple of things. Tarot Lumination membership, please consider. Also, the First Friday group hailing events, please consider. All of this, check out the links below. Shopping, the silk scarf, books, personal readings, songs, Sunday Night Live, all of that. Check the links below, please. Let's get on with the cards. Thank you for your patience, everybody. That took a long intro. But, Taurus, you're getting kind of slammed at the moment. And Venus is in a very nice way. It's very nice, but it's right there going through your house. So it might sweeten things. It might really soften and smooth things up for you and balance things out, while some of the other challenging things are going on. Okay. Now the cards are well shuffled in advance jumpers, no flyers, no rehearsals, no reversals. Sorry about that. I'm getting a little bit tongue-tied here. Been doing a lot of readings, and sort of it gets a little, get tongue-tied. That's all there is to it. Sorry about that. Here we go. Cards are well shuffled now. We did it even before we started recording. Bless every little card on the deck. Bless you, Taurus, for being here at all. Bless Tarot Lumination and the whole channel and the brand and the phenomenon and all the love and healing that goes on here. Thank you for being here, Taurus. Over here, this is you. What are you radiating? Think of yourself like an antenna or a cell phone, like a beacon. You're transmitting and receiving energy constantly. So what's it like in the context of love? Same with the other. What are they radiating? Deep down, what are you radiating? Are you aware of what you're radiating? Same with the other. What are they radiating? And over here, the core of the relationship itself. What's going on here? What sort of was the nature? This is the crucible. I hope you see the bowl shape here, okay? And this is the entity in which the relationship is conducted, where you intimate and you separate. You intimate and separate, just like ocean waves, as in all relationship, okay? So what is the nature of your crucible? The crucible is designed to withstand intense pressures. Can yours handle it? Does it have wobbly foundations? Is it nice and flexible? Is it too rigid? Is it flawed, cracked? What's going on? Let's have a look. And over here, what are you growing? Think of this as a living thing, like a cactus, or a succulent, or a pot plant, or a garden, something like that. A potted plant, I meant. Oh my gosh! Let's blame this on Mercury retrograde. Thank you, everybody. Look at circumstantial energy, environmental influences. I like to think of it as weather. Let's start. Okay, so with the Five of Swords here, my feeling is to be very, very careful through this period right now. So December, because these are, like, in some ways, very awkward angles that are happening for all Taurians. This is very, very juicy, good, optimistic energy, but it's a very strong placement in a very important part of your chart here regarding joint finances, intimacy between yourself and a significant other. This is unstabilizing, destabilizing, and this is very sweet, but it's right in there. So in terms of the other. So let's do our best here with what we've got. With the Five of Swords, my feeling is that in some way, it's like you're going to have to accept that this is awkward for Illumination to say. It's like having to prove something and not apologizing for the frailties of the others and the weaknesses and the limitations of the others. It's very important that you maintain your integrity, you maintain your truth, you maintain your honesty, and if they can't handle it, that's a problem. There's nothing shameful about this at all. Maybe you might feel there is, maybe other people might feeling that your behavior is unacceptable about how you are prevailing and how you are choosing to conduct yourself. And that's their problem, okay? But it also is a bit of advice here, like be very, very careful how you conduct yourself in terms of ethics and morality going through this period right now, because you could be questioning yourself and others could be questioning you too, like thinking like, who are you really? What's really been going on? We thought you were so-and-so, and yet this is going on. My feeling is just to be very, very careful where you do not allow yourself to be sabotaged, and you don't deliberately sabotage others. You do what you have to do to prevail, and you don't have to apologize for being you. And that's all I'm suggesting here. What are you radiating? Okay. So with the Six of Swords here, my feeling is that you have a very, very strong desire to move on and find peace and tranquility in some way, shape, or form or another with a loved one, some way, somehow, and leave so many stresses and dramas behind. Whether that's possible or not, well, we don't know, but this looks like a strong energy of desire here. Not only is it a desire, I have a feeling you're actually kind of calculating or trying to figure out ways of how to do this and how to be this, how to find peace, how to find new horizons, how to carry the truth forward with you in a way that works not just for you, but for your significant others, or a significant other in some way, so that there is peace and nobody gets hurt unnecessarily, and you don't have to force the issue, and they don't have to feel as though any issues have been forced, okay? Let's have a look. What are they radiating over here? Okay, so with the Hierophant energy over here, it's like it's very, very formal energy, and you might be relating with someone who sees you and relates to you and feels about you in a very profound way that is, it's like it has meaning and purpose and mission above and beyond, just like the lovey-doveyness of romance and like, oh, let's hook up, or that didn't go so well, or let's try this again, or how are we going to save up more money for our new mortgage and whatever, or pay off the college loans, or upgrade our car, or take care of the kids or the families or nephews or whatever. Instead, with the Hierophant here, to me it looks like they're radiating the energy of wanting to bring a higher degree of order and structure to the relationship, as opposed to having things meandering around and just things kind of drifting and the relationship just kind of going like a feather in the wind. And that may or may not go down well with you or not, because how do you perceive that? Would this be appealing to you? Are you interested, Taurus, in the idea of formalizing things a bit more and establishing things more in a way that is, let's say, in alignment with reality, truth and reality? And who is this person? Are they already with you in this regard? Do they relate with you as though they are at the highest formalized structure of relationship that you might call a marriage, or you could call at least a contractual bond? And are they sensing that you are in alignment with them? Or is this too much for you, Taurus? Are you feeling that this is a bit oppressive? Like their desire for order and a new way of like a higher, let's say, bring a higher degree of order and integrity and mission and purpose to the relationship. How are you handling that? It might be challenging for you. It might be very intense for you in the sense of relationship. And how does it translate into the way you share yourself and your resources with the significant other? What are you radiating from inside? Okay, well, with the Queen of Wands here, my feeling is that you're doing a really beautiful job. You're kind of honoring yourself as best as you possibly can and not dumbing yourself down for the situation. Now that might be very hard to do because you might be in very challenging situations right now with a significant other where you feel that either you are being challenged and then you have to react and protect and defend accordingly, however that works, no matter what it means to the other party. Okay, because you have to think about yourself. Remember, this is not a couples reading. It's all about you, Taurus, and we're allowing for a significant other here. So you're doing what you have to do to be you, and you might be doing it through stressful experiences, like what I was talking about here. This aspect between the Jupiter energy and the Mars energy over here in Pisces is putting a lot of pressure on everyone, and I'm going to read this again. The expansion of spiritual awareness through challenges to our own most deeply buried secrets and wounds. So let's put that in context here, where it might feel like what's happening with you, Taurus, in the way that you merge with significant others, and the ripple effect that it has in your community, your friends, your family, and your wishes for life. And you might be finding that out in a way that's awkward. You know, think of joint finances, for example. How does that actually come across in the world around you, in your community or people? But the thing is, deep down, you're doing this super job of, let's say, maintaining your integrity, maintaining your rights, your duties, your responsibilities, your self-respect at all times, no matter what. And I think deep down, there's a part of you which is feeling very, very loved, very, very appreciated by a significant other who views you and themselves and the relationship at this very high standard, where it's not about personal gain or anything. It's very much about the sanctity of the relationship, the sacredness of the relationship that needs to be honored and respected and understood. And I think you appreciate that very, very deeply, deep down inside, no matter what the external stresses and events might indicate. Okay, so that's good. I'm very pleased to see this here for you. The Queen of Wands in general, forget the gender. If you're a guy watching this, you can also radiate this beautiful energy of let's say deep self-respect and deep inspiration for others. People love to be around the Queen of Wands energy. She's highly, highly desirable companion, and I think you're starting to realize that how valuable you are and how deeply valued you are by others, by a significant other. So that's good. In other words, they wouldn't be putting themselves on the line for you the way they are, unless they value you very highly, themselves very highly, to be an equal with you, and the relationship very highly, no matter the stresses. Okay, let's have a look. What are they radiating deep inside? Okay, look at this. It's almost like they're very much on the same page as you, some way, somehow, with the Empress here. It's a beautiful energy of, to me, it's like a glorious manifestation of love, in a very formal, classic manner, but also in a very fertile, beautiful, earthly, sensual, appreciative, joyful manner, where I feel it's like they are shining. They are shining in themselves and in the relationship because of relating with you. So I'm suggesting here that they might be really thriving in this energy as Venus in Scorpio is moving through the side of the other. Okay, think of this as the other. Okay, over here, the significant other with Venus and Scorpio here. I think they're really sensing it at a very intense, deep level about how much they love you. And however that's expressed, I don't know. It's your interpretation, but they, I think, are bringing everything that they possibly can, all their resources, gifts, talents, a treasure chest for you and for the relationship, because it's honoring themselves as well in the process. Again, this is earned. Okay, this isn't just something trivial. This is earned, perhaps over lifetimes. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Okay, nevertheless, with the Five of Cups here at the core, it has to be acknowledged somewhere, somehow, because of, let's just say, these fleeting influences. Think of it as astrological weather. This too shall change. Okay, going through this part of December, let's just say towards the end of the month it'll smooth out a bit, but right now when we get into it, the relationship has got certain ingredients of it that are very tragic, very, very sad for you, for the other, and for the relationship itself. Now, it doesn't mean it's over. It just means it has to be acknowledged that certain exterior events, stressors, circumstances, attitudes, beliefs, manners of conduct, ethics, and codes are putting a lot of stress on the relationship. No matter how good this is, no matter how well intended you are, no matter how much you know you are loved by the significant other, there is something going on which is very tragic for you, for them, for the relationship. What it is, that's your business, okay? Taurus, you can put words to that if you want. Now, it's not over because there's two little cups here, and it's a very beautiful, beautiful energy to know that you have this, regardless of the grief and the sorrow and the pain and the suffering that you might be enduring right now. Let's blame it on the planets, folks. Yay! Let's blame it on this aspect here. Very, very disruptive and challenging because it's right on these tight 0-degree points here, very, very hovering around the cusp area. It's very, very unsettling for all Taurian energy. And this is very, very exciting and new and different over here for Taurus too, because you might just not be used to being appreciated or valued to the extent that you are. And it might be disruptive. You might be feeling shameful, guilty about, like, how can people love me when I've only done this or that? Or do I really deserve all that? So whatever it is that ails you guys, it needs to be, at least the relationship is being honest with itself. And you know that love will prevail. It's just a question of right now. If certain amounts of grieving have to occur, then please let them occur. Over here, let's have a look at momentums and prospects. Okay, I'm so happy to see this. This is the Ace of Wands. To me, this looks like a birthing process, like you know how like the birth of things can be very traumatic, very, very scary, as one way of life ends and a new way of life begins. Imagine you are a female. Imagine you are a first-time mother. You are pregnant. There's no kind of like half pregnant. You are pregnant or not. And then the event happens, and you've got something really beautiful going on here, Taurus, but at the same time, it's almost tragic. There's the end of the innocence. The innocence is over here now, and the heart is broken open. The heart is blown wide open, and all the joys and the beauty and the sorrow that you guys have are all there at once. And the relationship is, I would almost say, shaken, and to the point where you're acknowledging and realizing the tragic aspects of the relationship, and they need to be understood, and you can't bury them under the carpet. And my feeling with the Ace of Wands here, that's very, very liberating. It's like literally breaking open, like a rebirth in some way, shape, or form that is ultimately good for you, good for them, and good for the relationship. But it has to be like, you have to go through a valley of sorrow, and it bursts open, just like how The birthing process is in some ways for women very, very traumatic, but it's also very beautiful. And I think that's what's happening here. Is you, and remember, this is not a couples reading. It's all about you, Taurus. We're allowing for a significant other. My feeling is that what's happening is there's a kind of a rebirthing of you, like a recalibrating, as all the tumultuous stuff is being stirred up here and stirred up here, and it brings to the surface a lot of things that have either been buried or ignored, but they need to be faced. And once they are faced and understood, and you, in all their pain and sorrow, it's actually a relief. It's like popping a huge zit or a huge boil, or when a massive, horrible fever breaks, and all of a sudden there is relief. And you are, it's like a self-healing thing. You have to go through like a valley of sorrow to come out the other side, and rebirthed, reignited, re-inspired for a chance to start again. So it's very, very, it triggers a lot of passion here. And I think the Ace of Wands here will be becoming much more understandable towards the end of the month, when we get into the Capricorn energy. When the sun moves into Capricorn, that's going to be much sweeter for you. And then into the January, when like the Cancer Capricorn energy is going to be even stronger. Okay, so please allow for that. I'm stretching this reading out a little bit over beyond December to get you into 2019. All right. Okay, I don't want to scare you. Just think of the beauty here. Just think of the little Two of Cups here. Think of the Ace of Wands here, and how much you are loved over here. And yeah, just let's, you know, this too shall pass. All right. Thank you so much, dear Taurus. Thank you for your patience and your endurance and your desire to heal and grow and evolve, and your willingness to accept your awesomeness, and your willingness to be appreciated to such a high level by a significant other, no matter how disruptive that might be. All right. Thank you so, so much. Take care. Have a good December, Taurus. Bye-bye.